How's it, guys, and welcome back to Ultimate Exotics. So we've got one of the last clutches of eggs hatching in the incubator right now, and that is a clutch of Zambian green house snakes. So let's go have a look at these babies hatching. We're really excited every time we have some snakes hatching here. So this is one of the last clutches of the season, and it's a clutch of Zambian green house snakes. And they're really cool house snakes. So let's show you this clutch, and what we're going to do is run through them and just also teach you a little bit more about the Zambian green house snake. So let's go have a look at these babies. Okay, so here is our clutch of green house snakes hatching, and like we said, this is one of the last clutches of the season. So I just thought I'd show you these beautiful green house snake babies. Now off the bat, some of you might say, hey, hang on, these aren't green snakes, and they're not as bright green as you might think. For example, they're not bright green like a green mamba green or like a rhino rat snake. Green house snakes, they tend to be quite like a greeny brown or olivey green color. And another thing is, when greenhouse snakes hatch out, they do hatch out quite dark and quite brown, and after a few sheds or a few months of growing, the greens start really coming out. And I'll show you some comparisons with some older ones a little bit later. But you can see how beautiful and healthy these babies are. These babies took about 65 days to hatch. We incubated them at 28 degrees Celsius. And we're just going to move these out into a holding cage, and then we will separate them into individual tubs. And you can see they've been out for maybe half a day now, and they already have this blue tinge to them, which means that they are going to shed soon. They're already going into the blue to shed. So we're just going to move these into a holding tub. And from what I can see, all the babies are now out the eggs. So now it's just time to move all of them. And like I said, they don't look like too much now, but these guys are going to get really green as they get older. And like I said, I'll show you some of the yearlings and adults in a bit, so you can see how they turn out. And these are now Boaden fulliginosus. We also call them Zambian green house snakes because it is a locality, it's a naturally occurring locality, the green house snake. So Boaden fulliginosus is found not in South Africa, but from Central Africa and up north, further up. The Boaden fulliginosus is found, and they come in the green, which we're looking at now. You can also get black ones, red ones, and brown ones. And like I said, the green does vary between individuals as well. So some clutches, you'll get some that are more brown than others, some that are brighter green, some that are darker green. So they do all vary. And these are beautiful, nice big babies. You can see the green there. It's like an olivey green when they first come out. They're very dark. Oh, they're a little bit grumpy. So like that. And they've already just dipped into the blue, and they'll go a bit dull over the next few days and then shed, and then they'll already be a little bit brighter green, and then as they grow they just get greener and greener. House snakes do also, their colors kind of fire up at night, like we see with some of the other, like we see with crested geckos. Sometimes you can just come into the house snakes and you open the cage at night, and they can just be this bright color. So they actually do fire up as well. That was an infertile egg. It was stuck to the other eggs quite hard, so it wasn't worth removing. And in most cases, it does no harm whatsoever. So we just leave it there. And yeah, all these eggs have hatched. Let's just move out these last couple of babies. I'm very happy with these babies. They're really nice and big. How big these babies are. Nice strong babies. Real olivey green color. Okay, and that is There's one more there. So yeah, we're very happy with this clutch. There you can see the green coming through. Beautiful house snakes. And we'll have a look at some of the yearlings, and we'll show you how they change in color as they get older. Okay, so here's a Zambian green house snake now that is around 5 months old, and you can see how the green has developed and how much lighter they're looking compared to those babies we looked at earlier. And this guy is a little bit fired up, so he's showing a little bit more green than he would, like, say, for example, in the early morning. This is getting early evening now, so like I mentioned earlier, they do tend to brighten up. I don't know how or why, but they really do seem to change color as they get older. But you can just see this guy, his greens now. I mean, he is just beautiful, and that's a nice example of a Zambian green house snake, or we call it a Zambian green house snake, but it's a green phylogenosis. And they don't only occur in Zambia, they do occur in other parts of Africa. But yeah, that's a nice example of a green Boaden phylogenosis, a green house snake. And shortly we're going to have a look at an adult green house snake. Okay, so I just took out one of our Zambian green females, and she had quite a good feeding response, and she latched right onto me as I took her out. House snakes do have very good feeding responses, so yeah, I just had to, I've paid the price, but she will let go shortly. But yeah, you can now see, at least this is the adult color of the Zambian green, and again, it's not, as you can see, it's more like an olive green, but still just such beautiful house snakes, and they're just really easy to care for, excellent feeders, really good snakes. So yeah, I'm just going to see if I can get this girl to let go shortly. I think she is starting to let go now and relax, and she's realizing I'm not food. There we go. Thank you, girl. You see, I'm not a mouse. And there's a bit of blood, but there's no harm there whatsoever. I'll just wipe that off then. Okay, so here we have an adult Hypo Green house snake. So while we are looking at the green house snakes, I thought it would be relative to show you this one. And this is basically the green house snake mixed with a recessive mutation in house snakes, which is the Hypo gene. The Hypo gene, what it does, it reduces dark pigments. So as you can expect and as you can see, you end up with a much lighter green snake. And these Hypo Green house snakes, which we developed here at Ultimate Exotics, are really beautiful. Just look at that light green body, and you can just see how much lighter they are in comparison to the darker green, or just the normal greenhouse snakes which we looked at earlier. And these are just really beautiful. And we'll have another look at male. Sometimes between the males and females in house snakes, their colors can vary slightly. We find that often the males can have really bright colors, but just look at this Hypo Green female. She is beautiful, and she's going to be breeding for the first time this season, and we're super happy with how this turned out. We didn't expect too much out of it. We thought we might just end up with a patternless grey snake, but the Hypo Greens turned out really well, and it's a beautiful addition to the house snake morphs. Okay, so here we have another Hypo Green, and this time it's a Hypo Green male, and he's all fired up. But you can just see again, beautiful color and a much lighter green. You know, again, not a green like we see with, you know, like a green mamba green, but it's definitely has a brown tinge to it, but still the green is there. And that's just how it is with house snakes. You'll never get that perfect green mamba green, but these are just so beautiful. So they are basically a dilute green fuliginosis. And these Hypo Greens are just so beautiful. So that's a boy. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching that video. I hope you enjoyed seeing those beautiful Zambian green house snakes. And for those of you who don't know, at Ultimate Exotics, house snakes are one of our greatest passions. And we've developed many new color varieties of house snakes, and they're just such a great species to work with. So we'll be doing a lot more videos on the different types of house snakes that we work with and the different morphs that we've developed. And as you can see behind me here, this is one of the posters that we did of all our snakes and all the house snakes that we work with, and just some of the color mutations. So we put this poster together just to show people the progress of the house snakes and where they're going with the mutations. And we hope to do a lot more videos. So keep watching and you'll see a lot more videos of house snakes. Alright guys, thanks for watching that video. Hope you guys keep well. We'll see you guys in the next video. Please don't forget to hit that like button, leave a comment below, and most importantly, don't forget to subscribe. Keep well. See you guys soon. Cheers.